Good morning. Happy Friday. I thought today we would chat about my day. I've also seen some people in the chat box asking what it's like to be a virtual school psychologist. So I thought I would take you along this morning with me, and I started my day with my coffee. I have a little bit of a coffee fiasco. Of course, the one time my ice machine gives me ice. Gives me so much at one time and overflows all over the floor. Last night I was up really late posting a video. The video was not it, guys. It was not it. But I feel like it's better to post something than like be too hard on myself and not post anything. Like 1:30 last night or 2, I was like chatting with some of you in the comment section. So hi. Friday is looking like a pretty laxed day for me. I have no meetings. I need to create the social emotional learning lesson, so SEL. And I'm doing social emotional learning lessons for high school students all year, every week, every Tuesday, which is really fun because it's not something I've been able to do much the last 2 years. Like when I was in brick and mortar in Colorado, I experienced a lot more of that kind of like tier 1 intervention, general education involvement, which I really love. Like, I love mental health. That's my favorite part of my job. So I put myself out there at the beginning of the year. That's one of my number 1 tips for everybody, is to put yourself out there and ask for what you want, because people will put you in a bubble. I talked about that in my last video. People think of school psychologists as literally evaluators. You sit at a desk, you evaluate. You write reports, you are just like a little thinking brain in the back room typing away, and you're like a separate entity of the school. That is not how I was trained to be a psychologist. That is not what makes me happy. A lot of old school psychologists, when I say old school, I mean like old school psychologists. So people who were trained early 2000s, the 90s, the 80s, very different view of what school psychology is than what I have and what my peers have. But a lot of the people, they like don't want to be involved in mental health. I had a person in the comment section saying that school psychologist that they have talked to doesn't really do like therapy, and we don't do like intensive therapy in the school setting. That's not what we're supposed to do. But we are supposed to be able to do counseling and intervention and more short-term therapy technique. A lot of people just don't feel comfortable with that. I was asked to do social emotional learning activities every week for the high school students, and I've been really enjoying it. I make really cute presentations. Let me show you. So this is last week's presentation. So the idea is I'm following Overcoming Obstacles as an evidence-based intervention social emotional learning curriculum, but I'm making it into kind of my own thing, but it's still following their curriculum. And go through what you go through, and we're starting with check-in. This is what we did last week. In the chat box on paper, please share a few people who you respect. So this week is about respect and like what qualities of people have earned your respect. So they do like a word cloud, and then we talked about one of the most respected athletes of all time. And then we just kind of break down some of the qualities that Usain Bolt has that makes him a respectable person and a respected athlete. And then I always give time for brain dump. And this is going to be a time where they can, for 3 minutes, free write about anything on their mind. And then 2 minutes, I do like more of an uplifting thing, because I don't want them to end the session on like writing about only negative or like sad or anxious provoking thoughts. So the last thing is make yourself proud. What qualities are you proud to have? Do you have any that you want to work towards? And then we're going to meet next week. So today I need to create the SEL lesson. I need to share it, and we're trying to figure out how to upload it and get it working on the site. And then I need to work on an evaluation report, which I've already started. There are so many websites to score all of our rating scales on, and I use Kanga or Presence Learning for virtual administration. So I can administer certain tests on this platform for Kanga, but then I can't score all of them on Kanga. Yeah, so it's a little bit complex, and there's one thing I need access to. I need access to an adaptive Vineland scoring. Fingers crossed I get access to that today. What else do I got on my list? Ow! My hair got stuck in it. It's Friday! Also, check in with the student. I need to generate a consent notice of evaluation consent form. So we got a few things to do today. I'm gonna get started on my work. I turned on my little vacuum robot, so He's doing his work while I'm doing my work. And now I'm gonna take my lunch break and make some lunch. I would say this is one perk about working virtually, is that I can cook really good meals during the day. So on my break, I can do a load of dishes or laundry, and that's really nice. So I get to cook and do little self-care things throughout the day. I can go check on my chickens if I need to get outside for a minute. So that's definitely a perk. Speaking of which, I'm actually gonna check on my puppies. Come here. Buddy. Hi. Hi, big boy. All right, it's the evening now, so school is over for the weekend. I'm here at my business now, firing the kiln and getting ready for a birthday party that we'll be hosting tomorrow. I wanted to end the vlog answering one of your questions. So one question I got is, do you have any tips for new school psychologists to avoid burnout? And I would say maybe me sitting here in my little business is a good start to answer that question. So my number one suggestion is, if you have any hobbies, make time to do them. I know it sounds so basic, but about 2 years ago, I started doing pottery. Go to pottery classes every Tuesday. Even if I had a really hard week, sometimes I would have to miss pottery because of how long my days were, and I was just working way too much before. What is that? Oh, it's a light that's like flickering. I thought it was like a bird. I'm not wearing my glasses. Anyway, I would go to pottery every Tuesday, as much as I could anyway, and it just gave me time to be creative, and after a really hard day, let my brain rest. I find that when you're feeling burnt out, your brain is literally never feeling rested or restful. Like, even if you're sitting and watching a movie, sometimes it feels like you're not resting or enjoying it, but when you're in a creative flow, or like go running if you like running, if you like yoga, getting into a meditative flow state, which I think that sounds so like woo-woo, getting into like a flow state, I think is one way that you feel like healing and pouring back into yourself, and whatever that is for you. So maybe cooking, if you like art, paint. Make it like it's an appointment for yourself, just as much as you are going to show up for your appointments for work or school, or if your dog has to go to the vet, you're going to do that. This is your therapy, and you have to, every week on Wednesday night, you're going to go play pickleball. That's another thing I've been doing. It's like the rule as old as time is get exercise, but find something that's really fun. And if you haven't tried pickleball, you really should. I'm not athletic at all, but it is like, it's hilarious. It's so fun. Me and my partner go and we just laugh the whole time, and I think it's just like the best. Treat it like it's actually a mandatory thing, because it is, and if you don't do it, you're going to start feeling that. So that's one of my biggest tips, something that you enjoy and love. My other tip is walk away. If your district is not serving you, if your district has expectations that are not manageable, and this is like a consistent thing, there's going to be times when you have really high expectations and your district knows, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, Amanda, you have a lot on your plate right now, please bear with us, like, we respect you, it's not gonna be like this forever. If you know it's not forever, that's one thing. If this is an expectation that is just like thrown at you with no accommodations, no like apologies, this is just expected of you to be overworked, overrun, exhausted, mistreated, leave. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. I have learned, I have never regretted leaving a district who is treating me poorly, or my evaluation load is extremely high, and it always is, constantly, and all year long you feel like you're in a rat race and you can't breathe. Like, it feels bad to leave, but your mental health is important. And I've been in places where I feel so depressed, and burnout and depression feels really similar, let me tell you. Like, any job, it's making you feel burnt out. Yes, there are going to be times where you're burnt out, but if this is a consistent thing, every year you're feeling really burnt out, or all year long you're like, this doesn't seem normal, is this number of evals normal? Then maybe next year, or even now, you need to look for a different option. You don't have to stay anywhere that is treating you badly or has expectations that are unrealistic. If you're not getting paid enough and you're expected to do 80 evals a year, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, don't take this as real advice, hypothetically. All right, well, I hope you guys have such a good weekend. Get some rest, do something that you love.